Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2022. It is 1:12 p.m. The City of Annapolis Standing Committee for the Public Safety Committee is now come to order. Roll call, Alderman Gay, Ward 6 is here.
Present.
And yours truly, Rhonda Pendell Charles. We're going to skip over the minutes because Alderman Gay was not here the last time, but we're going to approve the agenda. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
With the with the changes made as far as removing the approval of the minutes.
Sorry. I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay. Second, I'll second that. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We'll move on to business and miscellaneous, appointments and reappointments, AP 6122, candidate recommendation for County Executive Pittman to fill the City of Annapolis' seat on the Arundel County Police Accountability Board. And we have before us today Ms. Sharon Elliott. Ms. Elliott, you can come to the table along with Ms. Hillary. And I have had an opportunity to read over your resume. And Alderman Gay, I'm going to give him the opportunity to ask some questions. Alderwoman Finlayson as a senior member, as well as Alderwoman Tierney. And I understand that you have a plane to catch at 1:30. Is that correct? You
Yes,
need to
ma'am.
leave? Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to move this along as best we can. So anyway, and Alderwoman O'Neill is on her way. So Alderman Gay, we'll start with you with any questions or comments.
Thank you. I'm wondering first if you could just give brief, I know we have 10 minutes, if you could give brief background on, obviously you have an impeccable resume, but just maybe what you hope to bring to the PAB?
Okay. Well, as you see in my resume.
Is your microphone on?
I think it is, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
As you'll see on my resume, I did an extensive detail with the Presidential Commission on Law Enforcement and the Administration of Justice. And I know that the experience that I gained there, as well as my overall experience in working with community groups, my volunteerism, my knowledge and background, and specifically the research and work that I did on the commission, I will be able to bring all of that experience to the PAB and learn something and also contribute. A lot of what I learned on that detail, the research that we did, that work encompassed, really informed, I think, the readers of that report of some of the issues surrounding policing and also offered some viable solutions. So I would think that I would be able to bring that kind of perspective and opening up the conversation in that way to those concerns.
And you also have a housing background, which is always a plus, because housing is at the core of some of our crime issues, you know.
Yes.
It's directly correlated to poverty if you don't have a safe home. And I think it just goes hand in hand. So it's great to see that. I guess the only, well, not even concern really, I guess just recommendation that I had, or if you could expand a little bit more on relations with community organizations or groups here. Because I think that'll be important, you know, as moving forward, just maybe connecting with I know our county NAACP, the caucus, just some of the groups that are civically engaged in police accountability. I think that'd be great, but great candidate.
I'm open to that. I actually, years ago, in my hometown, I worked with the Maywood Community Organization, which had some connection with our local police department. We had, let me say this, we had representation from our local police department within that organization. In terms of Annapolis, I've volunteered at Banneker Douglas Museum. I've served on my HOA board. I mentored a Girl Scout who was a Gold Star. So those kinds of things I've done, but I'm certainly open to kind of taking it up a notch and becoming involved with the NAACP and other civic organizations.
Okay. Thank you, Alderman Gay. Alderwoman Finlayson.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Welcome to
Thank you.
our meeting, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. Have you had any experience, well, first of all, are you aware of the Caucus of African American Leaders here in Annapolis?
No, I'm not.
It's an organization that was formed a number of years ago to defend a health officer who was removed from her position. That's probably been 5 or 6 years ago now. But what has evolved has been a group of people from various organizations from around the state. While it started in Annapolis, we have folks from Harford County, the Eastern Shore, and the like. It is an organization that follows, well, people bring cases to the caucus when they need help, particularly African Americans. And so the motto is, you know, it's okay to be one, but sometimes you need a whole swarm of people supporting you and behind you. And so I guess my question is how you see yourself as our representative working with such an organization that has, one, a very diverse membership, but who's also on the case all the time. So I'll stop there and let you answer.
Are you speaking of the caucus or the PAB?
The caucus is the organization that's in the city of Annapolis.
Okay.
That follows all cases, particularly as they relate to African Americans who have been mistreated in some form or fashion.
Okay.
An example might be, I guess it was a year ago, 2 years ago now, that young men, African American teenagers really, were in Ocean City. And they were arrested for vaping on the boardwalk. And the caucus as a group from all over the state went to support those young men when they went to court. I went over there with them. We had a big caravan. So anyway, I guess my question is, working with such a group as that is going to be important.
I see.
So I just want you to be aware that we follow everything, and because we feel like there's a need to support and defend folks who normally have no voice.
I see. I see.
So some of the cases that will be coming, well, hopefully we won't have any cases, but, you know, we have outside groups such as the caucus that will be weighing in and connecting with you.
Okay. I see.
So you mentioned you're not from here. Are you from?
Oh, no, I'm not from Annapolis originally.
Oh.
I'm from Indiana, but I've lived in Annapolis for about 16 years now.
Okay, well, a few more years and then we'll let you call this home. We're very, you know, usually it's about 30 or 40 years you have to live here before you can say you're an Annapolis. I'm just kidding, you know that. Anyway.
Okay.
But just to make you aware that the caucus exists, they will be here to
Okay.
support you. And likewise, they will look to you to advise on issues, and particularly with your background in the judicial system.
Yes, ma'am.
You bring a wealth of knowledge, and I trust somewhere in your experiences, you've dealt with cases where people have not been, well, let me see how to phrase this. You've dealt with cases where people have not acted appropriately.
Have not acted appropriately, nor treated fairly.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you know, in my mind, that's kind of probably what you're going to be dealing with. And it sounds like from your resume, which is very extensive, and thank you for all of the details, really prepares you for stepping into the PAB. So I just want to say thank you, and I just wanted you to be aware
Well,
of
thank
the
you.
community organization.
And I would like, how can I connect with the caucus? Is there?
Hillary can give
You
you,
can, thank you. All right.
yeah, Carl Snowden is the convener.
Okay.
But you can reach out to anybody on that committee, myself included.
Yeah.
Alderwoman Pendel, Charles, or Alderman Gay have all been part of the caucus, so.
Okay.
Widely known and easy to access.
Thank you for that.
They're going to want you to come, I'm sure.
And
They
I will
meet the
be
first
there.
Tuesday of the month. They're going to want you to come and talk about your new position, assuming that the council confirms you.
Yes,
To
ma'am.
talk about your new position and what you expect. And they'll tell you what they expect too.
All right, thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
your
Alderwoman
consideration.
Finlayson. Alderman Gay has a question. Then we're going to move to Alderwoman Tierney. And thank you, Alderwoman O'Neill, who provided the reference for us today. So I would assume you probably don't have any questions, but you have comments. But I'm going to go to Alderman Gay for his one question. Also like to acknowledge our Chief of Staff here, Ms. Pettit, as well as Ms. Carrie Berger, who's our Assistant City Attorney. Alderman Gay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just, not a question, observation or recommendation. I'm wondering if you could also assist with, I'm noting here violence against women in the office that you work in. We have a significant problem with domestic violence in some of our communities, and particularly in Ward 6. And I'm wondering, at any point, we could sit down and I can pick your brain on just best tactics to assist with that, and what you've just learned in your experience. That'd be so helpful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Alderman Gay. Alderwoman Tierney, who
Yes.
is also attends the caucus meetings as well. So we got
Yes,
a
I
great
have
representation of
been
caucus.
Been there since the
all the
beginning.
people here.
Thank you very much. I'll be quick. Your resume is very impressive. And I like just hearing what you said earlier about how you would be open to listening. This is sort of new for us, this Police Accountability Board. So it's good to have that open mind and not go in there with any, prejudgment. But in looking at your resume, would you categorize yourself as a victim advocate, or is that too much of a label?
Victim advocate.
I don't mean to put you.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
The work that I've done and
Yeah.
continue to do,
Yeah.
I just do it. I never thought about,
Well, that's probably good that way, that you
Yeah.
that you don't have a bias either way, and you stay open-minded about these cases that will come before you. But I applaud the work that you've done for victims. It's just an amazing resume, and thank you. And thank you for who found her, Karma. And I'll end there.
Alderwoman Tierney, Alderwoman O'Neill, and I want to thank her as well for bringing Ms. Elliott to us. We all try to practice councilmatic courtesy, and if Alderwoman O'Neill, who's a fine member of this council, says okay, then usually we go along with the okay. But I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Rao here, who's from the mayor's office. So Alderwoman O'Neill.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to say I'm so excited to see you sitting there. I know the few times we've had an opportunity to talk, I always feel this like calm in your presence. The one time when we met and I was 20 minutes late, not that today is indicative of that. It was really calming to just talk and listen to it. And I can see that your wheels are always turning in there and trying to find solutions. I think that you're going to be an incredible advocate for the city of Annapolis on the Police Accountability Board. I'm so excited that you wanted to step up to this opportunity.
thank you. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I mean, we met, we were really talking a lot by email, and then we met, and here I sit. So the wheels turned really quickly, and I appreciate the vote of confidence and the just really humbled to be here before you all. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add to your resume, or to anything else that we should be knowledgeable about, Ms. Elliott?
No, ma'am. Nothing at all. Nothing at all, other than a heartfelt thank you from me for the consideration.
All right. Public Safety Committee, are we ready to take a vote? All right. Yeah, I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to give a extraordinary favorable recommendation for Ms. for Ms. Sharon Elliott to move forward as our city's representative to the Police Accountability Board.
Do I hear an extraordinary second?
Second. Excuse me, second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I hear none. Ms. Elliott, congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
moving on to the next point.
I think that ends our agenda for today, I do believe. Yes, sir.
Are we
Remember
going
that she
to
needs to leave.
hear from the, not for the committee, you, yeah.
Oh, you're free to leave, Ms. Elliott. Thank you so much. Be safe.
I was
We'll
gonna
see
say,
you soon.
If you've got a 1:30 flight, you can't have a 1:30 flight, but you. Yes. Safe
Okay,
travels.
be safe. All right.
Are
Alderman
we
Gay,
going
yes.
to have the police department at some point come before us?
For what purpose?
Well, we had, in my ward, at least 2 shootings, and we haven't had any official updates or briefings from any, I mean, we got a text from the
Okay.
city man, but yeah.
We can certainly have a briefing. Ms. Carey, we are looking to have probably maybe a closed session. We'll see why and what that entails regarding the recent violence in the city. So just to kind of let you know, we can certainly arrange that with the chief, the deputy chief, and the command staff. Okay. Okay, sounds good. All right, anything else? Alderwoman Finlayson.
Yes, do you have another meeting scheduled for next week? And if so, what's the subject?
I will not be here next week.
Well, then I guess you're not having
I
a
won't
meeting.
be here after Monday.
We have a transportation meeting scheduled next week.
No, someone had asked me
We have a
about-
city council meeting on the 29th,
On
too.
Monday.
No, we have a meeting on the 29th, too.
28th.
Oh, 28th, yeah.
I will not be here.
Okay, so there's not another public safety.
Not to my
committee. Oh, I know what it was. The downtown partnership in their security folks. So is that going to be brought to the full council for discussion, or? It's on the work session, okay.
And
Okay.
we talked about it yesterday as well, and Economic Matters, for about 30 minutes, too, so.
So but that's on the agenda for the work session. Okay, thank
It
you.
is my 43rd wedding anniversary, so I will not be here.
Well, congratulations.
So anyway,
I'm sorry?
no, go right ahead.
I'm hoping also, I guess, because everybody doesn't want to meet in August, but I guess in September, we will be able to all, because in the budget, in particularly for public safety, we all pushed a couple of our programs and just be able to, share updates from that. I'm hoping, again, that would help with some of the issues that we've had. Our internship program is up and running. We're hoping to start Monday. We will see. But we didn't have enough funding. We had so many kids apply, and we just didn't have enough funding. And so that, and then also our childcare program is running. And so we've tweaked the rules there, and it's helping out a lot of the programs and orgs. And so the Office of Community Service, Laura, and they have been great, and so as well. So just wanted to say thanks for that.
Great, thank you so much for that update. Yes, we certainly can have an update in September, probably from Rec and Parks as well as from the Police Department, Fire, and Office of Emergency Management. Yes, Alderwoman Finlayson.
Yesterday in the Finance Committee, we made a similar request for our September meeting to get an update on the grants that we are receiving for opioid and it never fails, the phone rings. So we too are going to get updates on.
Well, why don't we just combine the meetings? Instead of, just have one meeting instead of several different, because he might want to have one for housing and human welfare, I don't know. So we can certainly have a combined
I'm
meeting
just
if that works.
making the announcement, it's up to the chair and the
Certainly.
committee as to how to coordinate that.
No
but-
sense in having 3 or 4 different meetings, we can just have one.
If the subject is the same, I'm just
But we're
saying,
looking
we're
for that.
asking for information, an update also.
Certainly.
Boy, my cousin is persistent. I keep hanging up on her
I
and
would-
she keeps calling back.
I would agree with that. And if we don't bring it to public safety, then I'll just attend finance or whatever works. Because something is working. I don't know what, but something is working. The numbers are significantly lower. They attribute that to a number of things. And now they may have more money than they know what to do with it. And so I would, like to see something, because I also am of the mindset that, and particularly for my community, I need to be able to see the support being given out, and particularly that, like, we gave nearly $150,000 to Annapolis groups. I need to be able to see people in the communities beating the pavement. Obviously, it's hot right now, but when it cools down, just so that we don't make a mistake and we end up going back up in overdoses. So I would totally, love to sit in on that.
And what precipitated it yesterday was the fact that we got an additional, what was it, 185,000. So those 4 programs are going to get considerably more than we had expected. And so the program you just mentioned, I think, is going to get an additional 54,000.
So that's good. The thing is, when we can certainly do it during public safety, since we're talking about the 3 public safety teams. We're going to be looking at programming for 2.5 months if we do it in September, because of course the funds did not kick in until July. So if you want to maybe do it towards the end of September, that kind of gives us a quarter's worth of programming, and we can certainly look at it from there. And if we want to have a quarterly report, we can certainly do that. And then have another one in December. I'm just looking ahead.
Well, they're
And that way-
supposed to do it that way.
Yeah,
do
we
quarterly
can do it that way.
reports, So.
Yes, Alderwoman Tierney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We asked for quarterly report, and it was driven by the presentation, MK, who's so good at this. They gave us a spreadsheet of the 4 allocations for the 4 different efforts, and that they all work together. And those what was the word they used? The key players, they'll be at this presentation, just so it's fully coordinated, that we know where this money is going. I'm not sure how a joint meeting would work if the Finance Committee has, other.
Well, if you all
full
want to have your
agenda.
separate meeting, that's certainly feasible. If they want to give the presentation several times, I'm sure they don't mind. That'll be fine. Like I said, I'd rather do it at the end of September. That gives you 3 months.
Yeah.
3 solid months.
Second meeting in September. Yeah, that's.
We may just have to do a special meeting because
Oh.
it'll be both of our groups. So to avoid any.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to do it for public safety.
Do we want to add in no harm, because that's not part of the opioid distribution?
I think that would be.
Would be good.
A good point. Violence interruption is key. And Kate was here. I would have loved to had an opportunity to discuss with her, because they had been, in the ongoing discussions with the county, and they were giving a significant amount of money, and I haven't heard a single thing since. And that was in May, when we were still doing budget deliberations. And so I'd definitely like to be, kept up with that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can work it out between now and then.
Yeah.
Yes, Alderwoman Tierney.
Just for clarification on that, they had a large grant in there that we questioned during the finance, during the budget review. I think it was $600,000 or something. That's just sort of a placeholder right now. My understanding from Kate is that they have a I don't know if they've hired the consultant, but they want to establish the framework of the program. They really want to know what, before they decide how much of the grant money they actually need. So that's the latest I've heard.
I agree with it, with establishing the framework first, but urgency is key here, because we have been trying to do the NOM or some sort of violence interruption program since really the start of the pandemic. Obviously, that got in the way, but we have to have some presence to be able to
Speaking of which.
engage with that.
She's walked into the
perfect. Yeah.
fire.
Awesome.
I just want to remind you guys, though, this is not on the agenda, so just be careful what you're discussing, since.
Certainly. Public safety.
Well, can't we
Napas
just make
United.
a motion to? This is good of the order, right?
We don't have a good of the order on there. But this is a public safety discussion because the Annapolis United basically came out of the three parts of public safety and rec and parks. So anyway, we're still kind of within the realm, I do believe, Ms. Berger. But thank you for the reminder. But anyway, anything else that's on the agenda? I think we've completed the agenda. Yes, Alderwoman O'Neill.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
And maybe I should have asked it of Hillary before she left. So this candidate's come forward. I know since she was brought to us, we've also received a resume from at least one other gentleman interested in the boards. Do we have a plan for that? Like, are we going to hold him in the wings?
There we go. Thanks, everybody.
Your name, please.
Kate Pettit, Chief of Staff to Mayor Buckley. So we do keep the resumes that come forward, and usually Hillary will then sort of make notes around, you know, if there's particular suitability for certain boards or roles. I believe that's the practice. Probably is best for her to speak to the detail of that, but that's my understanding.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I believe we've reached the end of the agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. No opposed. It is 1:40 p.m. Thank you all so very much.